Hello, Norman Nomads here. Today's little project is I'm going to make a sawhorse. Now there's lots of guys on YouTube making sawhorses and there's loads and loads of different ones, but I'm making up the I-beam type. Now I've got a set of sawhorses here that I've been using for years and years, and I think they're probably past their best because they're a bit shaky, and I've always found that they're too low because they're 600 high, and I think you really need them slightly higher. I mean, I have used them with boards on the top, and I've had my chop saw and it's just way too low. They're good for throwing in the car, there's no doubt about that. Throwing in the back of the four-wheel drive or something and going somewhere and doing stuff. When we did the laminate floors and stuff, they were ideal for just throwing in the back of the four-wheel drive and doing them, but they are slightly too low, and past their best. So I've made up a set of sawhorses that I saw somebody make them on the internet, and they say that they're really sturdy and lightweight, and you can stack them, which is probably ideal for what I need. And I've made them so, well, I mean, you can always pull the screws out and take them remotely, really, if you wanted. So I'm going to make a longer set on the top to throw sheets of plywood on there, because I always think that the ones that I've had and I've been using has probably been a little short and, as I say, a little low. So I'll turn this camera around and just show you what I've done so far, because I've in effect painted them. So here we go. So these are the ones that I've had, that type, with a folding bottom. Now I know there's two types of the folding type, and these ones turn into the screws, if you understand what I'm saying. But these are, you know, past its best, as you can see on the top, that they've been cut through and well worn. But these are the ones I've been making up, that type. So this is a 15 degree offset on here, I-beam type, made out of construction timber. I'm here in Australia, so this is like 70 by 35 stud material, 90 by 35. You know, obviously I've painted them, and I painted them I like the DeWalt kind of yellow and black, so that's what I've done, and that's what I've made up. Like I say, stack on top of each other. Could put a brace along here, which I might do later on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make longer ones. So this here is going to be the center of my I-beam. So this piece here. So these are 1200. So I'm going to make them 1200. These are the top and the bottom. So these parts, so that will sit in effect in there, and that bit there will sit on here to make that I-beam. Now these ones here are my legs. Now I'm going to make these ever so slightly higher. This is 900. Let's say I've got to cut a 15 degree offset, but these ones, those ones over there, are 600 high. These ones here are about 740. So the legs were, I think I started with them about 780, so I lost, you know, a little bit on there, but I didn't take a 15mm offset off there. I just took a 15mm offset up there, that cut. I mean, I didn't have to, and some of the guys on YouTube don't. But on these, because they're 900, and I want close to 900 as possible, so obviously I'm going to lose 20mm here probably, and I'm going to lose 20mm there. So I'm going to offset the 15mm offset there and there. So what I've done, I've got my saw set up, the old saw. So I'm going to cut these, and then we'll move to the next stage, because obviously these have got to be all the same. All the legs have got to be the same. So I've got my clamps and stuff, so I'll cut them to size and we'll go from there. These are the bottom of the folding sawhorses. So they go into there. But this is like rather slack, so you've got to tighten this knot up. And this one's here, because it's been bent, those don't even go in the hole. So I'm going to have to modify this so that it goes back into the hole. But these have never been all that fantastic. Always been a bit rickety. Like I say, these are, you know, they need tightened up. You fold them up like that, but these are movable. Like these ones have been bent because they're not the same length, and you know, they're all right for throwing laminate floors and stuff on and cutting with a jigsaw, or, you know, but I think they're past their base. So that's what I mean by them not being ideal. So that's them all cut to length. Alright, so they're not screwed together yet. So what I'll do is I'll mark, because I've got to paint this ends, I'll mark the centre and line it up with the centre. Put a line down here, drill some holes and screw all of these together so that they're in the centre. So the legs, so this is set of legs 1, set of legs 2. So this is what I'm saying, that you've got to make sure they're all the same length. So I've put the cramps on here. Now I wonder if I can move them up sort of under the saw to show you. So you've got to keep them together. So I'll cut those, turn them end for end, move this cramp up and cut those, and make sure these are, I'll maybe mark them 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4, because these have got to be one set of sawhorses, because these will be all the same length. You want these to be the same length, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark these 20mm on the face up and put a 15mm, put this to 15mm, 15 degrees rather, and cut the 15 degree top and bottom, but we'll go end for end. We'll go through that later. Like I say, this is set of legs 1 and set of legs 2, and then that is these. Okay, so I've got to paint all the ends and then screw them all together. But I might screw them all together just because I'm here. So, if you understand what's going on here, this is going to be the finished article. So, yeah, let us do that and get back to you. So, what I've done is I've cut the first 4. Now I've ended up ever slightly less than what I wanted. It's 885, right? So I've only done one end of this one. So what I can do is trim cut this, then measure 885 and make sure that they're all of the 8 are the same, because they've got to be, I mean, close, because you want the 2 horses that you're going to be using, you know, approximately the same height. I mean, is 5mm going to make any difference? Probably not. You know, I've been using these higgledy-piggledy ones for ages. So like I say, those are cut to 885, and I'll come back to show you what I'm going to do with them. Trim cut this, measure the same 885, then put a line, change my clamps around and trim cut them so that these 4 and these 4, which I've marked A, B, C, D and 1, 2, 3, 4, only because I'm going to use these on one and these on another, but it's not going to matter if they're all the same length. So I'll trim cut these, do the other end, and then I'll get back to you. So what I've done is I've marked all of these. Okay, so I've come in 15mm and I've done a line on one end. So on the other end, is that number 4? Yeah, that's number 4, look. So what I've done on the other end is I've end for ended the timber, come down 15mm and put a line across. So in effect what's going to happen is, because you can't do it the same way, so if you imagine that's my 15mm there, which is that bit, right, that's that bit there, 15mm up in there, then down here I'm cutting 15mm there so that it's that angle. So there's my 15mm in, and that's going to be the angle, so it's going to be sitting flat on the ground like that, which these ones haven't been done like that. They're just square. I'll lift these up ever so slightly. They're just cut square. See them? I never put a 15mm angle on there. Do you have to? Probably not. So it's very important that you mark it, you mark your line, then you upend it like that, end for end, and do exactly the same. And then you cut 15mm, 15 degrees, and then 15 degrees on there. So I've did my saw to 15 degrees, and that's the way I'm going to cut. So if I get one of these like that, and put that to almost the line, right? Now I'm going to put that like that. So like that. I mean, obviously this is just a guide, but there's the 15 degree. It's going to cut just this corner off. It might be taking more timber than I want off. So my finished size is slightly less than, I mean, it'd probably work out to be about, I don't know, 860, something like that, maybe 850. I'm happy with that. Something like that, that'll be fine for me. So let's go and cut that. So what I've went and done here is I've marked the top and the bottom of the I-beams, and that's what I've got. Got ever so slight overhang, here, but I've marked it here and there. So obviously I've marked it, you turn one of these upside down so that your marks are on the outside like that. Understand? So I can drill and screw and drill and screw. And obviously that's why you need your marks at the end, just so you can line up half there. You gotta know. I mean, like I say, it doesn't have to be ideal. Now I've got 65, I think, 65mm screws for here. These are stainless steel. I think they're decking screws because they've got the square on them. Decking screws. And I didn't put the stainless steel ones in these ones, but the reason I tried to get stainless was because if this is sitting outside, one, it's painted, and secondly, the screws won't rust. So you manage to get them get them out again. Because the reason you've got this on the top, because if you saw it and cut it and damage it like what these ones are, you can unscrew the top, throw it away, put another bit on, you know, because it's bog standard construction timber. Now all of that timber there, I bought, I mean, like I say, I'm in Australia, so I think it was $48 or something. Now obviously I had to buy screws, but I think I might have had these already. And obviously I'm going to use the screws for holding on that as well. And obviously these are all been cut, so I'll show you what's going to happen here. So obviously it's a slightly higher, but that's the way they're going to go on. And there like that, and that will be on the ground. Then the next decision you're going to have to make is how far away from the end do you put it. You know, people might take umbrage to me telling them where to put it, but I mean, those ones, I think these are about 100 mil in from the end, 100 mil. The thing is, you don't want to be kicking it when you're working. That's the thing. So you don't want to have it out here, and you can't have it out there if you want, you know. But I think I might put it 150, maybe even 200. I don't know what 200's like. Maybe about there. Maybe that would be too far. Maybe. Yeah, I might just see where that lies. Then all I'm going to do is I'm going to screw some holes in there and put them straight in with my 65s. 2 into that and 2 into the corner of that. That's what we'll try and do. Anyway, like I say, the main thing here is on the bottom you need to know where to drill and screw, because you've marked it. So, but got it clamped just to help me keep it in place. In with it. I'll get back. So what I've done here, I've come in 200 from the end. So 200 from here, put my square on, put it up, because this might not be absolutely, you know, the end might not be absolutely perfect. Then I've put that in there like that. Now I've come down from the top here, top there, I've come down, I think it's 15 mil, and this is 80, which is going to catch right on the edge of here, because you want to go into that, because that's the meatiest part. So that's pretty much what I've got for my legs. Now I'm going to drill probably a couple of those and screw them in, and I'm hoping that 200 mil from the end might be enough. And I've marked the bottom for the future, because these legs are probably going to have to come off, and I can just like store them. But the deal with this is, one, this is all construction timber, what I've mentioned. If you damage them, you can just cut more. Or if you want shorter legs, you can have maybe two, you know, I could put them on there, on these ones, and put these ones on there. Now I'm just very interested to see what the height of this is going to be, because if you'd used 70 to 35 for your I-beam, for, you know, let's say you wasn't going to be using the 90 for here, the top and bottom, and you use 70 by 35, you know, and use all this timber for the same, because you can do that, then obviously that's going to change this angle, because it's going to be, you know, it's going to change the angle. It's going to be probably shallower. You know, I'll show you on here, like on there. If you use 70 by 35 rather than 90 by 35, you know, that's going to make that angle there, you know, less. I mean, I'm not saying this is, I mean, I've cut these at 15 degrees. They're not necessarily to say that that is a 15 degree. It's probably not, probably more than that. But you can put any size of timber on here you like. I mean, you could have 70 by 35 there, and 90 by 35 there. You can have anything you like, really. I mean, you can have these further in. You can have them in there, depending on what you're doing. It's not too bad at 100 mil, because you're not going to hit it with your feet too much. But that is a lovely working height, 740. These are going to be, obviously, because these are longer, it's going to be higher. So I'm going to put these two ones together, and we'll measure what height this one actually is. Yeah, let's do that. So that is with the legs on. Obviously I've just got 2 screws in there, because I'm going to take the legs off and parcel it up, because I'm not needing it just now. You know, I just have to do a little bit of painting, just a touch up, transfer these onto here so I know what ones are which. The finished height of that is 830. That is an absolutely wonderful height. So imagine you had a sheet on here using your saw and stuff. It's just absolutely perfect. Nice length. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I don't think there's anything really you need to catch you out on that. Let's say construction timber. I'd maybe countersink these, maybe. That's the only thing I'd maybe do. The problem with that is that if there's water, it's going to like set into the timber. But these are flush, and that was just raised ever so slightly. So if you're sawing across the top, you may well blunt your blade of your saw. Let's say I finish off by painting that. I mean, if that was left outside in the rain, would you worry too much about it? No, I don't think you would. And because I'm Mr. Pedantic, I'll paint all my ends, finish off. I mean, I've split out the legs with a saw on the drop saw, getting it all done. I'll show you what I did to these, I think. Oh no, maybe not. I did have a little split, yeah, there. See them? So obviously the bottoms are not painted of there. So when I've got the paint out, I'll just finish off the painting so it is all coated with paint. But yeah, like I say, 830 high, 830 off the grass certainly, so if it's 825, who cares? But that's a lovely height, lovely height. As I said before, construction timber. Took me longer to do the filming than it actually did to put it together. But I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy with those. Those are really easy, you know, those could be thrown in the back of the van, back of the trailer. Like I say, these will stack on that. We'll just turn. Stackable. Like I say, those legs are all interchangeable. You could have 2 or 3 pairs of those legs. You could have the short pair with the long legs, vice versa. Alright, that's the Sawhorses, DeWalt yellow. Small ones and big ones for the sheets. Bye for now. Remember to like and subscribe. Thank you for that. Bye for now.